My gold-digging stepmom acted like she owned my house, so I made her homeless as a wedding gift. The nurse who watched my mom die moved into our house and started sleeping with my dad 1 year later. Elena checked in monthly after mom passed, always with that fake concerned voice. How's your father holding up? But I knew she was only hunting him for his money, timing her perfect attack. In my Scandinavian family, sons don't warn their fathers about predators, so I had to watch her work in silence. When my mom died of ovarian cancer at 55, dad never truly recovered. They'd been sweethearts since college, and watching him try to function without her was like watching someone drown on dry land. That's when Elena started her campaign, showing up with casseroles and gentle touches on his shoulder. What began as monthly check-ins after the funeral became weekly coffee visits, then daily drop-ins where she'd rearrange our kitchen cabinets to help him heal and move forward. By the time dad officially called her his girlfriend, she'd already nested in our home like she belonged there. They married just 6 months later, and when he updated his will, he made sure I'd keep the house but left Elena most of his money. I was heading to college on a full scholarship anyway, but that house was where mom taught me to ride my bike and where dad's handmade treehouse still stood guard in the backyard. 2 years later, dad's heart gave out at 59, and the doctors said it was heart failure, though I knew he'd been dying since the day mom left us. Elena inherited enough money to live like a queen for the rest of her life, but queens always want kingdoms, and she decided mine was going to be hers. She started out sweet, calling me honey, and pretending to care about my college plans like we were one big happy family. But I wasn't fooled when I caught her measuring bedrooms with a tape measure, or overheard her on the phone bragging about my beautiful 5-bedroom house. Then she brought Victor around just 5 months after dad's funeral, this sleazy guy in his 30s who wore too much cologne and kept talking about his investments that never seemed to exist. By then, she'd already stuffed dad's tools in the garage attic and donated his record collection and thrown out mom's handmade quilts, calling it healthy grieving through decluttering. The PS5 was the last straw. I'd saved for months to buy it and left it in the living room over spring break, but when I came back, it was gone. Victor's cousin needed a birthday present, Elena said while examining her nails, then added with a smirk that I was 22 and too old for video games anyway. That night I found Victor sprawled in dad's leather recliner with his feet up, running his hands over the armrests. Your old man had good taste, he said. This chair's worth something. Elena laughed and touched his shoulder. Everything in this house is worth something, baby. They looked at each other like conspirators planning a heist, and I realized I was already gone in their minds. That was it. These parasites were about to learn what happens when you steal from the wrong person. I forced a smile and told Elena I'd be moving out after graduation since I had a job lined up. Her face lit up like Christmas morning as she cooed about how I'd always be welcome to visit, already playing landlord in my own house. 3 weeks later came the engagement announcement and her endless chatter about their check wedding and 3-month European honeymoon. Would you mind house-sitting while we're gone? She asked with fake concern. Of course, I said sweetly, thinking how soon she'd be playing homeless instead. The moment their plane left, I posted my house on every rental site. 5 bedrooms, mountain views, available now. My phone exploded with calls from doctors, lawyers, tech executives desperate for our neighborhood. I picked a prosecutor with a teacher wife and 2 kids who had perfect references. Movers came that afternoon and hauled Elena's stuff to a storage unit I'd prepaid for exactly 1 month, knowing they'd be gone for 3. Changed all the locks, reset security codes, forwarded the mail, but kept dad's belongings exactly where they belonged. The prosecutor's check covered my new downtown apartment, plus my cousin's college tuition. I warned him about Elena's ownership delusions and handed him my lawyer's card along with the deed and will. He just laughed. Don't worry, I prosecute delusional people for a living. 3 months later, Elena called shrieking so loud I held the phone away from my ear. They'd just arrived home from their honeymoon to find new people living in my house. Victor screamed about lawsuits in the background, but the prosecutor living there shut them up quick with dad's will. Where's all our stuff? Elena finally managed to ask between threats. Oh right, I said casually. Your storage unit was only paid for 1 month. They probably auctioned everything off weeks ago. The silence before her scream was perfect. They left the country for good since they couldn't afford to start over here. Now I collect rent that pays for my cousin's college and game on my new PS5. When I need a good laugh, I picture Elena at my door with her suitcases, watching her key fail, realizing she's homeless. Dad's probably laughing in heaven watching his gold digger wife get evicted.